Yes, we have seen a database, the physical structure and the logical structure of the database, right? What is the logical structure of the database? The first logical structure of the database is
Table space.
table space.
Sorry,
Then
table space. Table or statement segment.
table or segment means table or segment. Then extent. Then DB block. Right? These are the logical structures of your database. Finally, the data will go and sit at your physical files called data files, right? Data files are physical files, OS blocks. What we call it as OS blocks, where your OS blocks resides in your hard disk drive. That is called as a data file. Who is that? Okay. So every table space will have one data file. For example, I'm having one employee table space. Employee table space. Definitely that table space will have one data file. For example, data file of 2 GB. That is a data file 1. So what this employee table space contains? Employee related tables, right? Employee 1, employee 2, for example, employee 3, like we are having employee 30. That means 30 tables belongs to employee table space. If you keep on writing the data into these tables, your data files is filling up. Your data file is filling up, right? When this 2 GB limit reaches till 2 GB, this OS blocks will make up DB blocks will make extents are given to tables. If this 2 GB filled up, then what will you do? You have to add another data file to employee table space, that is called as data file 2. For example, this is some 4 GB I'll take. Now up to 4 GB information you can write. This 2 GB plus this 4 GB, up to 6 GB of information you can write into this table. So the same way, whatever the table spaces you have in your database, every table space will have one or multiple data files. Is it clear with everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you go to OS level, where your your database, all the files resides, that is, we are having two things: SAP Data Home and Oracle Home. Did you remember that? SAP Data Home and database home directory. See, I'll show you. For example, my database is Oracle. In this, we'll be having these files. This location is called as your data files. So SAP Data Home. This location, Oracle under SID. This SAP Data 1, Data 2, Data 3, Data 4. Here you will be having all your information, all your database information. If you open that, you can see the data files of table spaces. What are the table spaces we are having? See, system, sysax, psap undo, psap temp, and another one is psap sr3, psap sr3 release. These are the table spaces names. This table space is having 5 data files. See, one data file of 2 GB. Okay, another data file of 2 GB. So if you observe here, few table spaces are having only one data file. See, system table space, only one data file of 4 GB. Sysax of 2 GB. Temp 3 GB. Undo. What is the size of undo? 800 MB. Okay. See, these table spaces are small table spaces. These four, remember, these four are mandatory table spaces for your Oracle database. If you install Oracle database, mandatorily you will get these table spaces. What are the names of the table spaces? Can anyone? System table space, SGA table space, PSAP undo, PSAP temp. These four are mandatory table spaces of Oracle. These four Oracle related table spaces. And what are other table spaces? I'll explain what is the table space, everything. And SAP related table spaces are PSAP SR3. See, SAP related table spaces are having more data files. 6 data files. PSAP SR3, PSAP SR3 release, PSAP SR3 USR, I think. Yes, PSAP SR3 USR. These 3 table spaces. What are they? PSAP SR3, PSAP SR3 and your release version. Okay, PSAP SR3 USR. These 3 table spaces belongs to SAP data. In a database you are having SAP repository, business data plus DB repository. My database is what? Oracle. See, these 4 table spaces contains system table space contains system related tables. SGA table space contain auxiliary programs, means tools related data tables. Tools means what? In Oracle database, whatever the tools you have, that related information will be there in that tables. Okay. And PSAP undo, PSAP temp. What is PSAP undo and temp? Temp is temporary table spaces. For temporary execution it requires some space. That table space is this. PSAP undo means uncommitted data will save there. If you lost that, you can recover from, for example, I have written some SQL statement, large SQL statement, suddenly power gone. From where you recover? For example, where this screen is saving now, I am writing something on this page. Where it is saving now? Did I save this file? In RAM. When I save, if I say save as and save, it will go to hard disk. But as of now, whatever I am writing here, everything is saving in here, my RAM only. The same way in Oracle also, whatever you do, uncommitted data, unsaved data will store in PSAP undo table space. You know that a Control Z. What is Control Z? Undo, na? You can revert that.
To undo.
Yeah, you can revert that. Control Z. Generally we use on Windows, right? We can revert everything. The same way, whatever the information you wrote, everything you can revert. That is PSAP undo. These 4 are mandatory table spaces for Oracle. And these 3 are SAP related table spaces. So all, if you compare, these table spaces will have only 800 MB, 600 MB, 1 GB, 2 GB. But when it comes to PSAP SR3, it is having 5 data files. If you observe, it is having 5 data files, right? 5 or 6. PSAP SR3 6. Do we have here PSAP SR3 6? This 5 6 5 1 6 5 1. Yeah. So it is having 6 data files. PSAP SR3 is having 6 data files. PSAP SR3 release is having 5 data files. This is having 5 data files. PSAP SR3 are having 1 data file. These are SAP related tables. All your SAP data, your SAP repository and business data will reside in this. These 4 are Oracle related. Now you got the point. In database we are having table spaces. You can table space, every table space table space is a logical one, you cannot see that, right? But every table space has a data file which is located in your hard disk. That table space information, is what? Table space contains what? Tables. That tables information is having one physical location. That location is your SAP data home. SAP data home. Fifth, your after architecture, the next class, Oracle home, SAP data home, Oracle services, SAP services. We discussed about USR directory. Need to remember this class? So this 4 contains your actual data. All your table spaces, data files are residing here. So if you lost this one, all your data gone. If I delete these 4 things, entire your database gone. Why? All your table space related data files information is here. Whatever you save in the database, it is finally storing in your hard disk at this location. Few table spaces are having only one data file. Few table spaces are having number of data files. SAP related table spaces are having more data files. Oracle related table spaces are having less data files. Wait for 1 minute. Did you remember this image? This one. Did you remember this? So PSAP SR3, PSAP SR3 USR, PSAP SR3 release. These 3 table space belongs to these 2, SAP repository and business data. Your system, sysax, PSAP temp, PSAP undo table spaces related to this Oracle's repository, means Oracle software related table spaces and SAP software as well as business data related table spaces. Overall 6 to 7 table spaces are there, means all this data will be accommodated in that 6 table spaces. Is it clear now? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
See, when you log in from Oracle database, you can see your table spaces, tables, but physically you cannot see. To see that the tables, to see that the table spaces names, you need to log in through Oracle database. By using SQL prompt, you need to log in into the Oracle database. But physically, you cannot see that. You cannot see the table spaces, tables, extents, and DB blocks. You can only see physically the data files which are residing in your hard disk. Okay, to understand this concept, to understand this database concept well, you need few things. You need few technical terms. What are they? The first one, data file. First one, the data file. Second one, Redolog file. Okay. Third one, Pfile. Fourth one, Controlfile. SCN, system change number. Archive file. And 7th one, log sequence number. Log sequence number. If you understand these terms, that's it. Your Oracle database is finished. What is data file? Okay, whenever you do one transaction, what happens actually? The data will generate, right? Whenever you do transaction, what happens? Transaction means, for example, you book one mobile. What happens? Some data will be generated. Order will be generated. That is what your business data, na? The data is generated. In Oracle database, not only in Oracle database, any other database, whatever the database you take, Along with the data, redo entry also generates. Redo entry. What is that redo entry? Means exact copy of this data. Means another copy of data, the backup. For example, if I create a sales order, that is my transaction. Sales order will be created, that is data. The exact same another copy of sales order will be created, that is a redo entry. This data go and save in your data files. What is your data files? This SAP data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4. Your original data. This data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4. All your table space related data files are there. Na? Your original data will save at this location. Okay. Now, redo entry. The redo entry will go and sit in this Verilog A and Verilog B. Where you are having all these in your SAP data home. This is your SAP data home. The original data will store at this location. Whatever the table space, for example, it is related to SAP SR3 table space, then it will go and sit in one of the data file which is having an empty space. An exact similar copy of the data, the backup, will store in Verilog A and Verilog B. That redo entry is called as Redolog files. Data file and Redolog files. This data go and sit in your data files. The redo entry will sit in Redolog files. Is it clear with everyone? Data and redo. Data is original data. Redo entry is a backup of the data. Why? I told you database is not only for storing the data. Every database has to produce the security also. If your database software is not giving security, then nobody will purchase your software. Not only storing for data, database is to organize your data in a structured manner. Okay, that is one part. But what about your data security? Every database has to provide the functionality of a data security feature. Otherwise, no one will buy that. That is the reason whenever you do any task, if you generate a new data, some new data is generated in database, means definitely another copy of that data will generate. That is called as a redo entry. Whatever you do, data will generate. Along with that data, redo entry also generates. Data will go and sit in your data files, means original data. Redo entry will go and sit in Redolog files. That means if something happens and my data files are missing, I lost my data files. From where can I recover my data? By using Redolog files. So my data is secure now? Yes or no? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Exact copy will be copied in Redolog also.
Redolog files. My data files, I lost my data files. Now how can I recover my data? For example, you book one mobile. Immediately your server crashed. From where can you recover your order copy? From Redolog files. That is the reason you should not save your data files and Redolog files at one location. Everything in C drive. If my C drive is corrupted, what happens, boss? I cannot recover my database. That is the reason at the time of installation, it will ask you for SAP data location and Redolog files location. If you give two as the same location, C drive, Oracle div, it will throw you the warning. You are saving data files and Redolog files at the same location. If something goes wrong, something happened, you cannot recover your database. It will throw you the warning. If you want, you can ignore the warning. But what happens? If you ignore the warning, if something goes wrong, you cannot recover your database. That is the reason in real-time scenario, you don't have data files and Redolog files at one location. Remember that. So if you put data files at C drive, for Redolog files you have to give D drive or some other hard disk. If this hard disk goes down, you can record the data from that Redolog files. Is it clear now? This is the original
sir.
one. This is the Xerox one. If you lost original, you can apply this Xerox to get the original data, right? That's what we do the things. That is about your data files and Redolog files. And another file is there, Pfile. What we call it is Pfile, parameter file. What we call parameter file. What parameters it is having? In SAP also we are having some parameters. Where you have that parameters in SAP? Anyone? Profiles, excellent. In profiles, what is the location of profiles, boss?
USR, SAP, SID.
Excellent. USR, SAP, SID, sys, profile. See, this USR directory belongs to your application. USR directory belongs to application layer, and this Oracle belongs to your database layer. This is different directory. This Oracle directory is different. That USR directory is different. USR belongs to application level. Oracle folder belongs to your database layer. I am installing my application as well as the database in the same host. That is the reason I am having USR directory as well as Oracle directory in same machine. If I install distributed installation, it is a central installation, right? If I do distributed installation, what happens? I'll get USR directory in one host where I install my ASCS and PAS, and where I install my database, there I'll get Oracle directory. Is it clear? Any confusion?
Yes.
So this directory belongs to database, this directory belongs to application. For application, to start that application, you have some parameters, right? To start the instance, what you need? What is exactly instance? Anyone?
Processor,
The combination of RAM and
It is the
processor.
combination of the RAM and
Samad,
the
you wait.
memory
You wait.
and the processor.
Samad, you wait. You got offer, you wait. Another. What is instance?
the combination of processor and the RAM.
Yeah.
RAM.
Yeah. The combination of processes and memory. Processes. Who will give processes? Your processor. Who will give that memory? Your RAM. So combination of these two are mandatory or called as an instance. To start any application, you need instance. You need to start the instance. The same way, to start this application, you need some in parameter. You have some parameters. According to that parameters, your SAP system is starting. But the same way, database also a software. To start the database, you need some parameters. It has to occupy some memory. It has to start some processes. Application memory is what? Your role memory, extended memory, these are memory. Processor, dispatcher, dialog, background, updates, pool, these are belongs to application. Then database, that is also one application, separate application. To start that, you need some memory, you need some background processes. That memory configuration files resides in your P file. Just like for application, you have some parameter files, right? USR, SAP, SID, sys, profile. Under that profiles, you are having some profiles. That profiles contain some parameters. These parameters will define the runtime environment of your SAP. But what about Oracle? Oracle another application, na? For starting that Oracle instance, you need some parameters. So go to that Oracle directory. There will be having Oracle home. This is your Oracle home, right? The version Oracle, that version folder. Go to the database folder. You will be having one file called init.sid.ora. Init.sid.ora. This file. When you are starting your SAP system, first what it will read? How SAP system is starting? Anyone?
Will read the profile.
You also wait, Kiran. How it is starting your system? I have shown you. So first it will read the profiles, USR, SAP, SID, SIS profiles. It will read start profile, default profile, instance profile. According to that parameters, it will occupy the memory and it will start some processes. Like that, SAP instance is starting. The same way, to start Oracle database, first of all, it will come to this location. When you start your Oracle database, first it will go to this file. This is called as P file, parameter file. This file contains memory configuration information. How much memory your Oracle database has to be allocated, has to take. That entire information will be stored in this init.sid.ora file. This file is called as parameter file or P file. Naming convention is important. init.sid.ora P file. It contains memory configuration. If you open this through Notepad, you will get all the memory parameters, that buffer, log, archive, destination, buffers, all your buffers information will be there. Shared pool size, DB cache size. See, all memory related parameters will be there. So if you remove this P file from here, your database won't start. How your Oracle database is starting? By reading P file. How your application is starting? By reading profiles. Profiles, that parameters are related to your application, which you will get in USR, SAP, SID, SIS profile parameters. This parameter file is for data. Here we are having two softwares. One is SAP software, second one is database Oracle software. SAP software related files are your USR, SAP, SID, SIS profile. Oracle related starting file is this. Is it clear now? P file is a text file, right? P file is a text file so that I can open in a notepad. P file is a parameter file. It is a text file. You can edit this file by using Notepad in Windows or in Linux. What is that? How you edit the files in Linux? Oi. By using cat or VI editor, you can do that. So it is P file is a text file. Remember, P file is a text file. It is a parameter file. The naming convention is init.sid.ora. It contains memory configuration information of your Oracle database. If you want to start Oracle database, when you start Oracle database, first it will go and read the P file. This P file contains memory information. According to that, it will occupy memory. It will occupy your RAM. Then only your Oracle instance will be starting. To start your SAP, it will go to your user SAP SID SIS profiles, then parameters. It will read that parameters and occupy RAM. Then only your application instance is starting. Is it clear? Two softwares. We are having two different softwares. That is what your P file. P file is a memory parameter file. It contains memory configuration information. And remember, have one word with you. It is having control file location also. Control file location. Not control file location. Just what is control file? We'll see later. P file is a memory parameter file. Okay, it contains SGA information. It contains SGA information. What is SGA? System global area. System global area. System global area means nothing but your Oracle's memory. Tomorrow we'll discuss about this only. Entire class. System global area. How it is occupying the memory. And it is a text file. P file is a text file. Remember these 3 points. It is a text file. It is having control file locations and SGA information, memory configuration information. This is what about your P file. What is data file? Whenever you do any transaction, the data will generate. That data will save in your data files. Along with the data, redo entry also generates. That redo entries will save in Redolog files. These are two files which are related to your data. This P file is not related to data. This P file is to start your application. You need one file to, for every software there will be a starting point, right? By reading that file, it will start that application. The same way Oracle database needs P file to start. P file, if you don't have that P file, your database won't start. Why? How much memory I have to allocate? What are the processes I need to start? To start Oracle instance, everything is configured in this P file. If P file is missing, your Oracle database won't start. If your profiles are missing, will your SAP starts? System won't know how to start your SAP. Right? That parameters are not there. That is the importance of that P file. Control file. What is control file? Control file is a binary file. P file is a text file. Control file is a binary file. This control file contains name and SID of the database. Both are same. Name and SID of database. You are having SAP SID, DB SID. Both are different. Database SIDs information will be there in control file. This control file, P file, data file, Redolog file, no link to your application. Applications of files are different. Your database related files are different. P file contains memory configuration of database. Control file contains name and SID of the database and exact path and location of your data files, Redolog files and archive log files. Exact path and location of data files, Redolog files and archive log
Archive
files.
Sir,
Archive
screen.
log files. And yeah, okay, sorry. Control file contains control file is a binary file. It contains name and SID of the database and exact path and location of your data files, Redolog files, archive log files, and current running SCN information and current running log sequence number. What is that log sequence number? We'll see. Okay. Data file, you know. Redolog file, you know. P file, okay. Control file. I'll show you the control file. What is the control file location? Control file location is in your SAP data home. P file location is Oracle home. There are two things. Oracle home is Oracle software related things. All your software will be there. Entire this location. Oracle 11. Your version is Oracle 11.2.0.3. That folder contains all the binary files, library files, and this P file, everything will be there. And JDBC drivers, ODBC drivers, all these software related, Oracle's software related folder is this. This is called as Oracle's home, Oracle home. And this is called as SAP data home, where you are having SAP data 1, data 2, data 3. This directory is called as SAP data home. Two are there. Oracle home is different. SAP data home data is different. Here your P file will be there in your Oracle home. Control file will be in your SAP home. At SAP data 1, see control. This is your control file. And Redolog A, see control file, second location. SAP data 1 is first location, Redolog A is second location, Redolog B is third location. This file is very important file. That is the reason they kept it at 3 locations. For example, you are saving your data files at one location. Data files means these 4. Data files at one location and your Redolog files at one location. These 2 are Redolog files. These 2 are Redolog files. These 4 are your data files. If you save, these are in C drive, this in D drive. If I am having only one control file, If I lost my C drive, how can you recover that? That is the reason SAP is not SAP. Oracle is having multiplexing of your control file. If you have for recovery, restore everything, you need control file. Why? Control file is having entire information, exact name and SID of the database, exact path of your data files, where your data files are there. In C drive, my data files are there. In D drive, I have Redolog files. In F drive, I have relog files. What is current running SCN number, log sequence number, everything is there in control file. If you lost control file, you cannot recover your database. So if you lost your data files now, you can recover by using Redolog files. But to know what is exact number of SCN, log sequence number, exact locations of your data files, everything information is with your control file. That is the reason control file and P file are very, very, very important files in your Oracle database. So first thing, what is P file? P file is a text file which contains a memory configuration information. Control file is a binary file which contains name and SID of the database and exact path and location of your data files, Redolog files, archive log files, and SCN information and the log sequence number. What is please can you please relog in? And what is the naming convention of this control file? Control file naming convention is CNTRL SID dot DBF. Control file naming convention is CNTRL SID dot DBF. Your P file naming convention is init SID dot Ora. Naming conventions are important. What is this location? P file location is
Oracle Home.
Oracle Home. Control file location?
SAP Data Home.
Data Home, exactly. Excellent. This is a SAP Data Home. In SAP Data Home, what are the locations? SAP Data 1,
SAP data.
Orelog A,
Orelog B.
Orelog B. These three locations will be having control file. And your init SID.v, this is having what? Memory configuration information. And this file is having, it is a text file, it is a binary file. This is text file. This one is binary file. Can you edit this binary file?
Zeros and ones.
Zeros and ones. We cannot edit that, right? You cannot edit by using Notepad. If you want to make changes in control file, you should use alter database command. Okay, we don't do any changes in control file actually. Generally, we don't do. So it is a binary file. Okay. Is it clear with everyone? Data file, Redolog file, P file, control file. Can someone please take screenshot of this and paste in that group? Yes? Okay. Thank you, Kiran. The next two files are SCN, archive log, and log sequence number. Okay, we'll see. What is SCN? SCN, system change number. System change number. The system change number is nothing but just like your TMS. What is your TMS is doing? Your CTO, change transport organizer. What it is doing? SC06 comprises of three things: customizing organizer, workbench organizer, and transport organizer. Whatever the changes happen in your database, it is recording that changes, right? The same way, that is application level. At database level, Oracle database also having one thing called system change number. It works as an internal clock in your system, in your database. Whatever the changes you do, for each and every change, it will assign one number called SCN number. For example, if you go with SQL prompt, okay, update stock. If you are updating stock, update stock, okay, insert into stock, okay, commit. When you say commit, what happens? One SCN will be generated. For example, SCN 100 is generated. So when you say second time, same, whenever you say commit, some changes happen in your system, na? SCN 101 will generate. Same. But you don't say commit third time. It won't create SCN number. That means the only committed data it will create. This is one change. This is another change. So for each and every change, there will be a system change number in your Oracle database. That is what your SCN, system change number. It works as an internal clock in your Oracle database, which will track all your changes. For each and every change, it will assign a new number. For example, SCN 201 is running means you have done 201 changes in your database. That is what your SCN. Okay. Second one is archive log files. Archive log files. What is this archive log file? You know data file, right? You know data file. The backup of data file is what?
Redolog.
Redolog files.
Backup of data file is your Redolog file. The Redolog file's backup is nothing but archive log file. That means if you lost your data files, you can recover by using Redolog files
Redolog.
or
Log files.
archive log
Archive.
files. Original data, the backup of the backup. Wait for 1 minute. The original files are data files. The backup of that is Redolog file. The backup of that is archive log files.
Archive.
For data files, for every table space, you are having data files, right? Every table space you are having data file, one data. For example, one table space, employee table space is having some number of data files. Student table space is having some number of data files. But when it comes to Redolog files, if you open that Redolog file, you don't have this many files. Only 2 files are there. See, if I open this data files, PSAP SR3 table space is having one data file. If this is filling, second. If this filled, third added. This filled, fourth added, fifth added, sixth added. Like that, you can keep on adding data files to PSAP SR3 table space. The same way, you can keep on adding data files to PSAP SR3 release table space. For every table space, you are having data files multiple. One data file is filling, then you can add another data file. But the same way, the backup of these data files are Redolog files. Then these files also you should have in multiple numbers, no? But no, only 200 MB or what is that size? 200 MB. Each log file size is only 200 MB. Right? My original data is, for example, 1 GB. The same amount of data is backing up. What is that size? That side also 1 GB should be there. But here I am keep on adding the data files. But Orilog A, Orilog B, your Redolog files are only having 200 MB, 200 MB size. Then how can I accommodate all the data files into Redolog files? The backup of data files are Redolog files. Whatever the size your data files is having, the same size your Redolog file should also have, right? Then how I can save that much data into 200 MB? Is it possible? You got the point? The backup of data, for example, my data file size is 1 GB. What should be my Redolog size? Same amount of data, na, 1 GB. But here I can add 1 GB data. If this 1 GB filled, I can add another 1 GB data file. If this is also filled, I can add another 1 GB data file. Another 1 GB data. I can keep on adding the data files. If my data is filling, I can add data files. But what about your Redolog files? Only 200 MB one file. Another file is also 200 MB. Can I accommodate entire data into 400 MB? My screen is visible, guys. Can I accommodate entire data into this 400 MB? 4 GB data into 400 MB? No. Are you getting? So how Oracle is doing this? To understand that, okay, I'll explain you one image. What is that? Yeah. See, this is Redolog A, Redolog B. Two files are there. 200 MB, 200 MB. My screen is visible
No.
No.
now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Redolog A is 200 MB, Redolog B is 200 MB. Okay. Whatever the data is generating, everything is loading into this Redolog files. Okay. After 200 MB, what happens? This file got filled. Then it will switch to Redolog B. Okay. Now it is filling up. 200 MB gone. Now, can I add a new Redolog file C? No, it won't add. Again, it will do the log switch and it will overwrite the first data. Then it is filled, it will overwrite first data. Now, your database is corrupted. How can you recover? All your data is overwritten. Can you able to recover your database by using Redolog files? I think you are confusing, right? We'll go with this. Wait for 1 minute, I'll draw the image then. This is my Redolog A. Okay, this is my Redolog B. This one. This file is having some 200 MB space. This file is also having some 200 MB. Redolog A. This is Redolog B. Now one transaction has happened in data files. That file is in data files. One transaction has happened. That transaction will have one number SCN 100. The same SCN 100 also here also that will be generated, right? Then SCN 101, 102, 103, 104, SCN 110. Here also SCN 110. Now this 200 MB got filled. 200 MB got filled with this 10 transactions. Now what it will do? It will switch the log to Redolog B. Now whatever the transactions happening here, next transaction is what? SCN 111. That will be copied in SCN 111. Then SCN 112. Like that, SCN 120. Here also SCN 120. This data file filled. Data file 1 got filled. Now I can add another data file called data file 2. But what about here? Can I add Redolog C, Redolog D? No. It will immediately switch. It will switch to this location. Now you're writing SCN 121. New transaction SCN 121. What happens? SCN 100 will gone. SCN 121 will come. Like that, SCN 121, 122, 130. Now here also SCN 130. Now my data files gone. My data files corrupted. I want to recover my database. Do I have SCN 100 to 110? No, already they are overwritten by SCN 121 to 130, right? So I have from SCN 121 to 130 and 111 to 120, means 100 to 110 gone. Can I recover my database? No. That is the reason what happens when 100 to 110 happened, when it is log switching, it will compress all these and will archive all these files to one location. What is that? From 100 to 110. Back up these files. These files are all called as archive log files. Now 111 to 120. Now log switching is happened. Now this 111 to 120 will be backed up. Now can I switch log and overwrite all these 100 to 110? I have already backup of this. Can I do this? Yes.
Yes.
Now suddenly my data files gone. From where I can recover my database?
From archive mode.
From archive log files. From 100 to 120 I'll get from archive log modes. From 130 to 121 to 130 from Redolog files. These files are also called as offline Redolog files. Offline Redolog files. Archive log files, or else you can also call as offline Redolog file. Redolog files only. So when they are running in this, they are online. When they backed up, we call it as offline Redolog files. So if your Redo entries are safe, your database is safe. If your Redo entries are not safe, your database is not safe. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Yes or no? Can I tell you one more time? Or it's clear?
Clear.
Now 130. 130, this 200 MB filled. What happens immediately? The log switch will happen. The log from this log to this log switch will happen. This 121 to 130 will be backed up. 121 to 130 will be backed up. Now when 131 to some 140, it is got this 200 MB got filled again. Now this will be back. This will be switch, log switch. Then this 131 to 140 will be backed up. So these files are called as archive log files. The backup of Redolog files are called as archive log files. So only you will be having 200 MB, 200 MB, or 500 MB, 500 MB. That's it. But when it comes to data files, this 1 GB filled up. Then another data file is adding. This is filled up. Another data file is adding. But for Redolog files, no adding of the Redolog files. Only they will be backed up and the old SCN numbers are overwritten. So when first log Redolog A is running, that is called as a log sequence number 1. Number 1. Second time, this is log sequence number 2. When log switch happens, this is log sequence number 3. Now again, this is log sequence number 4. That means fourth time log switch happened. This is what your log sequence number and archive log files. Is it clear? If your database is not running in archive log mode, that means these files will not generate. These files are not backed up when log switch happens. Whenever log switch happens, if your database is running in archive log mode on, if your archive log mode is on, then only these files will be backed up. Otherwise, no backup. Otherwise, what happens? These files will be overwritten. If your data files are gone, you cannot recover your database. If you want to recover your database at the time of your data files loss, your database should be running in archive log mode on. Generally, for your production database, we maintain archive log mode on. Why? For development and quality, if you lost your data files, nothing will happen. You can recover your system. Why? Your production is there. The same copy of the database development quality is production. Na? You can build your system. But your production system gone, everything is gone. So one log sequence number, you can have multiple SCNs. Log sequence number for entire file. Log sequence number 1, log sequence number 2. Third, log sequence number 3, log sequence number 4. One log sequence number can have multiple SCNs. SCN for every change. Log sequence number for log change. There is a difference. For each and every change, there is a SCN number generated. Log sequence number, when the log sequence number will change? For each and every log switch, it will change its log sequence number. If your database is running on archive log mode on, whenever the log switch happens, these files will be backed up. Next time when log switch happens, these files overwritten. No worries, I have already backup. Is it fine with everyone? Data file, the original data. Redolog files, the backup of that. Archive log files, archive log file, or else you can also call it as offline Redolog file. These are offline Redolog files. This one and this one, these files are. These two current running files are called as online Redolog files. The backed up archived files are called as offline Redolog files or archive log files. And when it comes to Pfile, what is Pfile? Pfile is a parameter file which is used to start your Oracle database memory. Controlfile. Controlfile is having
Fine.
name and SID of the database and exact path and location of your data files, Redolog files, archive log files, current running SCN, which SCN is running now, 140 running, that information, and the current running log sequence number, which log sequence is running, 4, log sequence 4, SCN 140, and data files location is C drive, Redolog's location is D drive, archive log's location is F drive, and your SID is dev or PRD. This information will be there with your control file. And third one is SCN, system change number, and log sequence number. System change number is for each and every change. Whatever the change happened in your database, every change will have a change number. Log sequence number for every log. Whenever the log switch happened, one log sequence number will change. Data file, Redolog file, archive log file, P file, control file, SCN, log sequence number. Any doubt in this terminology?
Yes, actually, in that case, so the storage of data files and archive log files are both are same.
Storage of
data files and archeolog files. Is both are same?
no. Yeah, I'll come. You are saying size, na?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes. This
Regarding size.
arc, your original file and zip files are same.
No.
No, these files are archived. Archive means zipped. So obviously, this your archeolog files will be less when compared to data file size.
Okay.
And this archeolog files location is your where is that? This one or a arc. Your original files data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4. Redolog files Orilag A, Orilag B. The backup of this will be or a arc. See, these files are archived. So the backup of Orilag files, log files. So the main data, the copy of the data, the copy of the copy. So if you lost these data files, you can recover from archeolog files. And for old data, you can recover from archeolog files. For current information, you will be having Orilag A or Orilag B. For example, now SCN, you can recover from 100 to 130. But what about 131 to 140? They are not yet backed up. So you have to depend upon online Redolog files as well as offline Redolog files. Both the files are important. Both are Redolog files only, which are current running are called as online. The backup are called as offline Redolog files. So overall, if your radio entries are safe, your database is safe. Whether it may be archive files or Redolog files, both are called as radio entries only. If your radio entries are safe, your database is safe. Is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. Any doubts from today's session?